Angus's intro guitar riff for Who Made Who defies human capability. It's a lightning-fast riff originally recorded using only hammer-ons. Malcolm also shines with an off-time rhythm for most of the song. For the solo, both brothers come in on the one count, and while Malcolm keeps a steady rhythm, Angus manages to cover the entire fretboard with lightning-fast licks. Angus also shines on the rhythm, arpeggiating both the chorus and last verse to the song. Phrase 1 begins with movable power chords, starting with the C5, index on the 5th string 3, ring on 4th string 5, and pinky on 3rd string 5. Strum twice, then mute. The rhythm can be a little tricky. Count eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and strum on the and after 1 and again on the and after 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Mute the first chord right away. 1 and 2. Then let the second chord ring out until the next measure. And 3 and 4 and. Muting on 1, strum on and, mute on 2, strum on and riding out and 3 and 4 and. The song starts with an intro on the C5 rhythm. Then when the band comes in, we mix this up with other chords. Starting on C5 for a total of 4 repetitions. That would be 1 repetition. Then you move the fingering to the A5, 6th string, 5th fret, 5th string 7, and 4th string 7. Apply the same rhythm. Strum twice, then release. The A5 is played twice, then drop down 2 frets to G5. Play this 4 times. Play it 2 more times, and then move back to the C5. Repeat the strum pattern a total of 4 times, then repeat the whole rhythm. From the C5 to A5, G5, back to C5. In phrase 2, we learn the main guitar riff. First, Angus plays a quick intro, holding a C octave, index on the 4th string 10. The bottom of your index finger should lightly touch the 3rd string, preventing it from ringing out. Place your pinky on the 2nd string 13 and strum through the 2nd string. Then bar your index across the 10th fret and strum 4 through 2 again, sliding down the neck. I'll demonstrate 3 different ways you could play the main riff. First, using all hammer-ons, which is what Angus played on the original recording. Hammer your index to 4th string 2, then your middle to the C note on the 5th string 3. Next is ring on the 4th string 3, back to C, pinky on the 4th string 5, back to C. 4th string 3, then C. This is repeated a total of 8 times and is played over the C5 power chord rhythm. Next, we move the fingering to accompany the A5 rhythm. Hammer the 5th string 4, 6th string 5, which is an A note, 5th string 5, back to A, 5th string 7, back to A, 5th string 5, back to A. This A riff is played a total of 4 times, then drop down 2 frets to accompany the G rhythm. Alternating between the 5th and 6th string, start on 2, then the 3rd fret G, 3, G, 5, G, 3, G. Then back to the C riff. Playing this with all hammer-ons can be a bit tricky. To get a similar sound, keep your fingers planted and pick each note. I start with the downstroke on the 4th string, then up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Apply the same picking patterns for the different positions. On most live performances, Angus Young will use this picking technique. A third way you can play this riff is by tapping the notes all on the same string. To do this, you have to hold the 5th string 3rd fret with your picking hand, and with your playing hand, hammer your index to 7, pull to 3, middle, pull to 8, pinky on 10, pull to 3, back to middle, on the 8 and pull to 3. For the A rhythm, your picking hand does not hold any notes. Just drop down 3 frets, hammering 4, open, 5, open, 7, open, 5, open. The G rhythm is the same as the C, but all on the 6th string. Hold 3 with your picking hand. Next, hammer with your fretboard hand on 7, pull to 3, 8, pull to 3, 10, pull to 3, 8, pull to 3. Then switch back to the 5th string for the C rhythm. Here's a practice run using the different methods. Malcolm's rhythm for the chorus hangs on the C5 for a while. Then it changes to a G5 with the same eighth note rhythm. This is played a total of 4 times, then back to the C5 rhythm. C5 a third time, and an end tag, F5, G5, and a fuller inverted C5. You're barring the 3rd fret for strings 6 and 5, and this time you put your ring on the 4th string 5 and your pinky on the 3rd string 5. So we have F5, G5, C5. Angus arpeggiates his chorus chords. Start phrase 4 holding an open variation of the C5 chord. Index on 2nd string 1, 3rd string is open, middle on 4th string 2. Hold this chord shape, pick strings 4, 3, 2, and 3. Next, add your ring finger to the 4th string 3rd fret. By adding the F note, the name changes to a C5 sus4. Pick the same strings, 4, 3, 2, 3. Then repeat the whole rhythm. It's played for a total of 4 passes. The break uses full chords, starting with G, that's the pinky on the 1st string, 3rd fret, ring on 2nd string 3rd, open 3rd, open 4th, index on 5th string 2nd, and middle on 6th string 3rd. Strum G, then switch to an F bar chord. Bar your index finger across the 1st fret of all 6 strings, middle to 3rd string 2, pinky to 4th string 3, and ring to 5th string 3. If you're just starting out, you might want to just stick with the power chords until you build up enough finger strength to play a full bar chord. So we have G, F, then switch to C. The full C chord is the 1st string open, index on the 2nd string, 1st fret, 3rd string open, middle on the 4th string 2nd fret, and ring on the 5th string 3rd fret. After C, we switch back to G and strum twice. Then repeat this section, G, F, C, G, G. Next, we switch back to the arpeggiated rhythm, open C5, add F to make it C5 sus4, C again, then add the F picking the 4th string, 3rd string, and strum strings 3 through 1. In phrase 5, the rhythm behind the lead guitar rocks between an open A5 power chord and a G ghost note, meaning you do not pick the note. The A5 is 5th string open with an index bar on the 2nd fret of the 4th and 3rd string. The A5 comes right in on the 1 count to contrast the 8th note rhythm for the verse and chorus. To sound the G ghost note, just lay your index finger on the 6th string 3rd fret and follow it up with a downstroke on an A5. So as we start off, we have chord, ghost, chord. Next, we have 3 chords with 2 ghost notes in between. Chord, ghost, chord, ghost, chord. Let it ring out. Then 4 chords with 3 ghost notes. Chord, ghost, chord, ghost, chord, ghost. Chord rings out. Repeat. The last time, play 3 of each. Chord, ghost, chord, ghost, chord, ghost. To end, play G5, down 2 frets to F5, back up 2 frets for an inverted C5 by lifting your ring finger and barring the 3rd fret of string 6 and 5 with your index. And your pinky is already on the 4th string 5th fret. Strum, put your ring finger back to play a G5, G5 again, then down 2 frets, and there's an 8th note buildup on F5 for 2 measures. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. For phrase 6, the guitar solo begins with 1st string pull-offs, 8, pull off to 5 to open, then 7, pull off to 5 to open. I use my ring and index finger for the fretted notes and repeat a total of 4 times. Then drop down in time with the rhythm, A5, then chord, ghost, chord, ghost, chord. Then repeat the whole section. Phrase 7 starts on the 3rd string 7, pull to open. Next is 10, pull to 7, pull to open. Played 4 times. Hammer to 5, give it a slight bend, slide up to 7, pull to open. I had to listen to a live recording for the next group of notes because they're difficult to hear on the studio recording. So on the 4th string, what Angus does live is he pulls from 10 to 7 to open, repeat. Move to the 5th string, 10, pull to 7 to open, repeat. Move to the 6th string, 10, pull to 7 to open, then slide up and down the neck. Phrase 8 wraps up the guitar solo, holding the 3rd string 7 and tapping with the edge of the guitar pick. Start on the 17th fret, tap 3 times, move up to the 18th fret, tap 3 times, 19, tap 3 times, up to 20 and tap 8 times, up to fret 21, tap 3 times, up to fret 22 and tap 8 times. After the guitar solo, Angus arpeggiates the verse, starting with the same C5 to C5 sus4 that we played in the chorus. This is played twice. Next, hold only the 2nd string 1st fret and pick the open 5th string, open 3rd, and 2nd string 1st fret, back to the 3rd string. Repeat. Then switch back to the C5 sus4, picking strings 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, and repeat. Then back to the C5 to C5 sus4 rhythm. During the last chorus, there are some short lead fills along with some slight rhythm variations to sections we've already learned. Phrase 10 starts on the 2nd string, 20th fret with heavy vibrato. Then repeat the chord changes. Full G, F, C, G, G. Back up to the 20th with vibrato. Phrase 11 is a lead fill played on the 2nd string 15 with an index bend to 3rd string 17, 17 again with vibrato. Next is the 2nd string 18 to 1st string 15, then 18 with a bend. 1st string 15, 18, 2nd string 18 bend, and slide down the neck. For the remainder of the song, the lead guitar repeats the G riff that we learned earlier. The end for the rhythm guitar starts off with staccato power chords: G5, mute, F5, mute, C5, mute, then an open G less the 1st string, letting the chord ring out. The next 3 chords avoid the 1st string as well. You have the F, C, G, then a full open G, F we learned earlier, but only strum 6, 5, 4, and 3. C without the 1st string. Back to G. The rhythm ends with full F, C, and G. Phrase 1 gives a percussive count-in. Lightly touch all 6 strings with your playing hand, but do not press down against any frets. This will prevent any stray notes from ringing out. Come in with a steady 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, resting for 3 and 4. Skipping ahead to phrase 2, we come in with a quick E5, 6th string open, 5th string 2nd fret, and 4th string 2nd fret. Strum, then double mute the strings. By double mute, I mean lay your free fingers from your playing hand against the strings, and at the same time, lay the palm of your picking hand against the strings. Next is D5, 4th string open, 3rd string 2nd fret, and 2nd string 3rd fret. Play D5 3 times, double mute, then we have A5. 5th string open, 4th string 2nd fret, 3rd string 2nd fret. Play A5 3 times, and double mute. For the first ending, we have a descending blues run. Middle finger on 1st string 3, then open, 2nd string 3, ring on 3rd string 4, index on 2, bend, release, and pull to open. The second half uses the same chords: E, D, A5, But for the end, we have an ascending guitar riff. Keep your index on the 5th string 2 to ring on the 6th string 4. Back to 5th string 2, then ring or pinky on the 6th string 5, 2, then pinky on 6, 2, then slide your ring finger up to 6th string 7th fret, and slide down. There are times when the chords sound fuller. To achieve this, you can play from E5 to a full D chord instead of just D5. Simply add the 1st string 2nd fret and you have a full D chord. You can also add to the A5 power chord by barring your pinky across the 5th fret on strings 1 and 2. Here's phrase 2 at a practice run of half speed. It's up to you if you would like to substitute the chord variations. Phrase 3, the chorus, starts with an A5, which I play by barring the 2nd fret on strings 3 and 4. The 5th string is open. A quick change to E5 by moving the structure up 1 string. From there, I play B5, 5th string 2nd fret, 4th string 4, and 3rd string 4. Down to A5, back up to B5. Hell's Bells combines haunting arpeggios and rock-solid power chord rhythms. The lead break starts off with a bluesy double note feel and quickly escalates to a rock guitar solo masterpiece. At the end of the song, we are graced with an outro guitar solo that makes expert use of unison bends. Angus Young starts off the song with the main riff. For phrase 1, start by barring your index finger on the 4th string 7 and 3rd string 7, adding your ring finger to the 3rd string 9. With this chord in place, pick strings 5, 3, then 4. Lift the ring finger, exposing the 7th fret bar, and pick strings 3, 4, and 5. Drop the bar down to the 5th fret and pick strings 3, 4, and 5. Then play the 3rd string 7. For the first ending, play the 4th string 7, then the 5th string open. Repeat the riff. But for the second ending, play a C5 power chord. 5th string 3rd fret, along with the 4th string 5th fret. Strum, then drop your index finger down to the 5th string 2nd fret, while keeping your ring or pinky on the 4th string 5. This is a B5 augmented, so you play the C5, B5 augmented, then repeat the whole intro rhythm. To bridge to the verse, the first 6 notes are the same. Then double up on a G5. Index on the 6th string 3rd fret, ring on the 5th string 5th fret, pinky on the 4th string 5th fret. Strum twice. Next, switch to an open D5, 2nd string 3rd fret, with the middle finger, 3rd string 2nd fret with the index, 4th string is open, and the 5th string open A is also played to fill out the chord. Next is a 5th string walk down, 3, 2, and open. Here's a very slow practice run playing N1, N2, and the bridge to the verse. While Angus plays the main riff, his brother Malcolm comes in on ending 2. The song T.N.T. starts out with an E5 power chord. Just combine the 6th string open with your index finger on the 5th string 2nd fret. And if you've been playing guitar a little while, you can also add the 4th string 2nd fret by barring your finger across the 5th and 4th strings. For beginners, this might be a little bit tricky, so you have my permission to cheat and play only the 5th and 6th strings until you get a little stronger. Strum down on strings 6, 5, and 4 to ring out the chord while the drums build up to start the song. When the verse starts, play another E5, then mute the strings. There are 2 ways to do this. You can lay the palm of your picking hand across the strings to deaden the notes. And as a backup, you can use your free fingers of your playing hand to mute the strings by laying them across the fretboard. If you do both together, you'll definitely get a good mute. There's an open G5 power chord. Place your middle finger on the 6th string 3rd fret, allowing the bottom of your skin to touch the 5th string, muting the string and preventing any notes from ringing out. As you strum this chord, you are also going to include the open 4th and 3rd strings. So with your middle finger in place, strum down on strings 6, 5, 4, and 3. Let the chord ring out, then mute the strings. The next chord is an A5, 5th string open, index finger on the 4th string 2nd fret, along with a finger bar across the 3rd string 2nd fret. Just like the E5, beginners can cheat and skip the bar for now. Just be sure to let the notes ring out, then mute the chord like before. While you mute the A5 chord, play the 6th string 3rd fret with your middle finger, a quick change to the A5 chord, then return to the 6th string 3rd fret and give it a slight bend. Just keep pressure on the note and give it a smear across the fingerboard. That makes up the chord changes to the verse. Again, it's E5, mute, G5, mute, A5, mute with the 6th string G note, A5, G, and bend, and then repeat several times. There are also some rhythm variations to the verse. Since there are 2 guitars in the mix, Angus and Malcolm Young often play slightly different rhythm parts. To enhance the E5, bar the 2nd fret as we learned earlier, but angle your finger to lightly touch the third string. Since you're not holding the third string against the fretboard, the strings will be muted and prevent any strained notes. Next, you want to allow the second and first string to ring out with the rest of the chord. It's a little tricky if you're just starting out. When you get to the A5 chord, you can make it an A chord by adding the second string, second fret to the finger bar. The rest of the rhythm remains the same. There is an end tag to each verse where you play the chords a little different. Play the E5, then mute, but when you change to G5, let the chord ring out, then switch to an A5, allowing it to ring out as well. Here's a practice run playing the verse at half speed. You can play along using the basic power chords, E5, G5 to A5, or you could play along using the extended E5 and A chord. The song T.N.T. starts out with an E5 power chord. Just combine the 6th string open with your index finger on the 5th string 2nd fret. And if you've been playing guitar a little while, you can also add the 4th string 2nd fret by barring your finger across the 5th and 4th strings. For beginners, this might be a little bit tricky, so you have my permission to cheat and play only the 5th and 6th strings until you get a little stronger. Strum down on strings 6, 5, and 4 to ring out the chord while the drums build up to start the song. When the verse starts, play another E5, then mute the strings. There are 2 ways to do this. You can lay the palm of your picking hand across the strings to deaden the notes. And as a backup, you can use your free fingers of your playing hand to mute the strings by laying them across the fretboard. If you do both together, you'll definitely get a good mute. There's an open G5 power chord. Place your middle finger on the 6th string 3rd fret, allowing the bottom of your skin to touch the 5th string, muting the string and preventing any notes from ringing out. As you strum this chord, you are also going to include the open 4th and 3rd strings. So with your middle finger in place, strum down on strings 6, 5, 4, and 3. Let the chord ring out, then mute the strings. The next chord is an A5, 5th string open, index finger on the 4th string 2nd fret, along with a finger bar across the 3rd string 2nd fret. Just like the E5, beginners can cheat and skip the bar for now. Just be sure to let the notes ring out, then mute the chord like before. While you mute the A5 chord, play the 6th string 3rd fret with your middle finger, a quick change to the A5 chord, then return to the 6th string 3rd fret and give it a slight bend. Just keep pressure on the note and give it a smear across the fingerboard. That makes up the chord changes to the verse. Again, it's E5, mute, G5, mute, A5, mute with the 6th string G note, A5, G and bend, and then repeat several times. There are also some rhythm variations to the verse. Since there are 2 guitars in the mix, Angus and Malcolm Young often play slightly different rhythm parts. To enhance the E5, bar the 2nd fret as we learned earlier, but angle your finger to lightly touch the 3rd string. Since you're not holding the 3rd string against the fretboard, the strings will be muted and prevent any strained notes. Next, you want to allow the 2nd and 1st string to ring out with the rest of the chord. It's a little tricky if you're just starting out. When you get to the A5 chord, you can make it an A chord by adding the 2nd string 2nd fret to the finger bar. The rest of the rhythm remains the same. There is an end tag to each verse where you play the chords a little different. Play the E5, then mute, but when you change to G5, let the chord ring out, then switch to an A5, allowing it to ring out as well. Here's a practice run playing the verse at half speed. You can play along using the basic power chords, E5, G5 to A5, or you could play along using the extended E5 and A chord. To start off the guitar solo in phrase 6, palm mute the open 6th string, followed by heavy vibrato on the 5th string 7, another 6th string palm mute, 5th string 5 with vibrato, mute, then 4 with vibrato. Palm mute again, then back up to 7, 4th string 5, 7, 7 bend, release, pull to 5, back to 7 with vibrato, then palm mute a 5th string 7. Next is the same walk down, mute 7, mute 5, mute 4. Then the third string 7, pick 4 times, quickly muting each note. Then a 5th time with a full bend and vibrato. Position your index finger on the second string 5 to start off phrase 7. Ring on 8, back to 5, a muted note on the third string, then the 9th fret with your middle finger and vibrato. 9 again, to second string 8 with the index, 10, hammer to 11, pull to 10, pull to 8, pick 10, 8, back to third string 9, mute, 9. For those muted notes, I'm relieving pressure from the note but still touching the string. Using the same hand position for phrase 8, play second string 8, third string 9, back to 8, up to 10 with the ring finger, and a bend, first string 10 with the pinky, letting this ring out while you bend and hold second string 10. Pick the first string, then second string and release the bend,